In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let him have dominion over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." So God created man in his own image, out of the dust of the ground. In his nostrils he breathed the breath of life, and Adam was a living being. The Lord made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. In the midst of the garden he placed the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper. The Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Out of the man's rib he made woman, and he brought her to the man.
This is now bone of my bone, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast that God had made.
Has God said, "You shall eat of every tree of the garden"?
We may eat of the fruit of all the trees, but the fruit of the tree in the midst of the garden, God has said we shall not eat it, or we will die.
You will not die. God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.
So the woman took the fruit and ate. She also gave it to her husband, and he ate. When they heard the voice of the Lord while walking in the cool of the evening, they hid from him. Who has caused you to be ashamed? Have you done the thing which I commanded you not to do?
The woman you gave me, she made me eat it.
Oh, the serpent tricked me, and I ate.
Woman, in sorrow you shall bear your children. Your desire will be toward your husband, and he will rule over you. Man, because you disobeyed me, you will work in the sweat of your face in order to eat bread. From dust you were made, and unto dust you will return. The Lord God sent them away from the garden to work the ground from which they were taken, until the end of their lives. Now Adam knew his wife, and they had a son who they named Cain. After a time they had another son who was named Abel. Abel was a keeper of the sheep, and Cain tilled the ground. When Cain brought an offering of his crop to honor God, Abel brought an offering of the firstborn of his flock. God knew that Abel had brought the best he had out of his love for God, and that Cain had not. Soon Cain became angry at his brother, because he was very jealous. Why are you angry? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. Now Cain talked with Abel his brother when they were in the field, and Cain rose up against his brother and killed him. Where is Abel your brother?
I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?
What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are cursed on the earth. It shall no longer yield its strength to you. A fugitive you shall be the rest of your life.
My punishment is greater than I can bear. I shall be hidden from your face. Anyone who finds me will kill me.
Whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark on Cain, so that anyone finding him would not kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord.
Now it came to pass that God tested Abraham, and said to him, Abraham,
Here I am, Lord.
take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains on which I tell you. So Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and two of them went together.
Father! My father! Here I am, my son. Look at the wood and the fire. But where is the lamb for a burnt offering? My son, God will provide for himself the lamb for the offering.
They came to the place of which God had told him. Abraham built an altar there, and placed the wood in order. And he bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. Abraham, Abraham,
Yes, Lord.
do not lay your hand on the lad, or do anything to harm him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and there behind him was a ram caught in the thicket by its horns. So Abraham took the ram, and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. Because you have done this thing in obedience to my voice, in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed.
This place is so weird.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, and he said unto his people,
Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Every son that is born of the Hebrew women ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived, and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink.
Anyway, I think you
And
get the
daughter of
idea
Pharaoh came down to
of what's
wash
going
herself
on in
in the
here.
river, and her maidens walked